What's up, everybody? Hauser here, and this is What If Deku Was Killer Croc, Part 7. Izuku, or Killer Croc, as he's known, is walking through the swamp, like we left off in the last bit. He makes his way down to the street, and some people were, running away from him as the giant monster covered in gross mud blood color, brownish red. He finally walks through the bar as Shigaraki turns around, and so the rest of the group, thinking it's a bad guy, they just see him there, soaking wet. And Shigaraki and Dabi are both like, "Oh, thank God you're okay." And Croc's responds with, "I wouldn't be if I would have been better if Mr. Compress had saved me." Like, snapping his jaw at Compress, too. He's like, sorry, dude. As Bakugo's, now starting to shake as, he sees a giant, thing that's killed a couple of kids in front of him. That killed a kid in front of him. And, he doesn't know if Todoroki made it out of there alive or dead, or if anyone else survived. He has no clue what happened, And Croc, who walks in, and, gets ready to, shake off when all of a sudden Korgir's like, no, go do it outside. And Croc, snaps at him and goes, whatever. Walks out, shakes his body off, sending blood and mud all over the walls. Walks back through the door, and he's a lot cleaner, as he rolls up on the ground into a ball, with his tail over his eyes because of the lights, and he starts to sleep because, he's been walking for the past, 7 hours, and he's tired, and, they're sitting there, just trying to convince Bakugo to join. He won't. That's when they, hear the whole hero thing. Everyone went to save Bakugo who went in canon, except for Izuku, who's not there. Who went? Momo, Todoroki, Kirishima, and Izuku went, right? And Ida. We'll say Uraraka took, Izuku's place. Todoroki, Momo, Kirishima, Ida. So there's 5 of them? Yes? No. Yeah, no, there's 5 of them. Okay. The 5 of them are at the same place that they went in canon because of Momo. And the heroes are attacking the base, the villain base. They hear the knock on the door, pizza, da 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 da. And they're like, who the heck ordered pizza? And that's when they hear, we did, dudes! Cowabunga! Nah, I'm just kidding. The turtles aren't in this. But, and that's when the door gets slammed in by All Might, who comes flying in, waking up Croc, who stands up out of just pure reflex, biting on All Might's fist. All Might punches Croc through the ceiling, and he comes falling back down. He stands up, and him and All Might begin fighting. Endeavor, who's at the, is Endeavor with All Might? We'll say he is. He hears the fighting, and that's when, the dude who can paralyze people paralyzes, Korigiri, but Dabi shoots a flame when he sticks his head out, getting his face burned, and he has, 2-degree burns on his eyebrow, on the top of his forehead, and, by his cheek, and he falls out of, Korigiri, who, is unconscious. Toga, who's there, throws her blood things into the dude's back, and he's in pain, he's screaming. All Might's trying to help him, and then that's when Endeavor comes through the building, burning towards Toga, when Dabi shoots his flame, and it's like Dragon Ball Z, where they, push each other back, and the two of them are locked in combat. Croc's fighting All Might, who uppercuts Croc again. This time Croc lands on his, doing a flip landing on his feet, running towards All Might, and Kurogiri runs at him from the side. All Might, realizing that they're outnumbered, he kicks Kurogiri, not Kurogiri, Shigaraki in the face, who's running at him from the side, sending him through a wall, and then punches Croc in the stomach with 100% of his power, which pokes a hole through his side of his chest. But Croc sticks his nails inside of All Might's weak spot. You know, All Might's now holding his chest, or he can't because All Might's Croc is there. Croc is squeezing his hand together, cutting lines into All Might's stomach, who punches him in the face, just breaking off his jaws. Croc falls, holding his mouth, which regenerates. His stomach regenerates, and he stands up, angry, snapping his jaws. And All Might realizes that he's, probably not gonna win unless he takes Croc out first. He jumps up in the air, hitting Croc down on the ground, hitting his head, and Croc starts to lose. Dobby gets burned again. Falling onto the ground, knocked out by Endeavor's, low temperature fire. Toga runs at Endeavor with her knife. He grabs her hand, throwing her into a wall, knocking her out. And all of a sudden, they're starting to lose. Shigaraki runs back in, jumping at All Might, who's pummeling on Croc's face. All Might grabs Shigaraki by the head. Shigaraki goes to touch his arm as Endeavor grabs his hand, twisting it, starting to break his wrist. And that's when All for One intervenes, teleporting all of them out of there. And sorry, still tired. And that's when they teleport. They teleport to where All for One is. Who drops all of them on the ground. Croc, who's standing up with a bloody mouth, his teeth are falling out. He has cuts and stuff, and starts to heal. His teeth pop back through. Dobby, who's standing up with now a new burn, connecting his eye, the scar on his eye, to the scar on his cheek. And it's not purple or anything. It's like Todoroki, so it's red, And he's holding his cheek, and he's like kind of in pain, but it doesn't bother him all that much. Toga, who's unconscious, is still there, and the only ones who are awake are Shigaraki, Dobby, and Todoroki, and not Todoroki, and Killer Croc, or Izuku. And not Endeavor either. One for all for one, walks through doing the whole speech thing. All the villains and stuff were defeated, just like in canon. All the heroes who were there, and they saw the overpowered power of all for one, one for all for one. All Might comes flying through just like he does in canon, and that's when All for One makes the mark. You definitely are getting weaker. It took you almost 2 minutes to get here. Well, not 2 minutes. It took you 2 seconds to get here, and the two of them are clashing, and that's when Killer Croc runs into the middle of the fight, grabbing All Might by the arms, holding his arms back, and All for One smiles, punching All Might in the face, and they start beating him down. And the newscopter's there, and they're horrified as All Might's getting double teamed, getting beat up. Croc's holding his arms, and All for One is punching him in the face. All Might has bruises, cuts, and that's when he breaks out of the arm lock that Croc has him in, picking Croc by the shoulder, slamming him down, destroying the city like his the United States of Smash does. And that's when the sidekicks, see not the sidekicks, the kids see Bakugo, and they do their giant thing where Ida runs up the ramp with Kirishima, who's been lightened by Uraka, and Todoroki makes the giant ice ramp. They jump up. Bakugo goes to fly, but he's the only two who are fighting him are Dobby and Shigaraki, and he does the huge explosion, pushing Shigaraki down onto his back. And I almost said Endeavor, and Dobby stands up, seeing that All Might is about to, continue fighting. He's winning right now. Shoots a low temperature blast, or not low temperature. He shoots his flame at All Might, which burns his from his left side all the way down to his right chest, from like his ribs to his right shoulder. All of his clothes is burn up, and you can see the giant scar with the claw marks in his stomach. And he has like burnt his whole arm, and to his face is burnt, and he's getting defeated. And All For One stands up, punching him in the face, sending him up into the sky, hitting the helicopter. But before he hits it, our dear friend, oh god, the old dude that trained All Might comes flying in, grabbing him, dropping him down. Gran Torino, there we go. And All For One smiles, going, "Gran Torino, I thought you were retired," as he rushes up to Gran Torino's face, kneeing him, sending him flying. But All Might catches him by the leg, putting him down. All Might stands up, punching All For One, who slides back towards Killer Croc, who grabs him, stopping him from going flying, as All Might's now deflated and, running out of time. And the world sees All Might's defeated form, and everyone's shocked. The three kids who were left behind have just made it into the city with the rest of the civilians. Bakugo, Kirishima, and Ida are there watching the news live, and everyone's rooting for All Might. All Might, who, thinks he's won, sees the two of them, walking towards him, as he realizes he's probably not going to make this out alive. He clenches his fist, using the rest of his power. Does United States a smash, punching All For One in the face, sending him down into the ground, just like he does in canon. He does the same thing that he did in canon to All For One. And, he's defeated, but Croc runs over, biting on All Might's arm, who's now has no more power. And Endeavor realizes who's just gotten there, shoots a flame at them, who Kurogiri has just woken, or has forced Kurogiri to use his quirk, teleporting everyone out of there except for him. And All Might, now has his arm, which is broken and has giant teeth marks in it. All Might passes out, starts to bleed out. Endeavor is alive, right? I didn't kill him off, I don't think. Who did I kill off in the last video? Nope, that was Red Hood video. I killed someone off. Never mind. Endeavor, runs over to All Might, picking him up, and we see the repercussions. All Might's in the hospital. He's having surgery on his chest, which for the 3rd-degree burns he has. Luckily, those burns seared up his injury, so there's no need for surgery to stitch the wounds or anything. His arm is being, not amputated, but being, fixed by Recovery Girl. And All Might's just there. He's in a coma, and the world's shooken up by this. Shigaraki's now the leader, and I guess we can do the, yeah, okay, wow. So there's not much from the League of Villains after All Might's defeated up until where we are in the show. So this is probably the last video until the end of Season 4. Kind of hate to say that, but yeah. Wow. What other events are the villains in? I don't think they're in any other event except for where we are in the show. And they're barely in that as it is. So yeah, this is probably the last Killer Croc video until we get to until I see more villain stuff, and in season 4, and season 4 is over. So, yeah. Wow. Alright, Hauser is leaving the building. Hope you stay safe. Hope you enjoy. And I hope you had a good day.